Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name's Emma Lefebvre, and today we're going to be painting one of my favorite fall subjects, autumn leaves. So let's jump right in and start. Okay, so as you can guess, we are painting some leaves today. I got these beautiful leaves from outside. My son and I went on a leaf nature hunt, and we picked up these beauties, and I thought I would show you how I'm going to paint them. I have done a few videos on painting leaves on this channel before, but it is one of my favorite subjects to paint this time of year. So if you haven't seen those, don't worry. You are going to learn how to paint these leaves today. Okay, so let's jump in and start. Okay, so the first leaves I'm going to start with are these yellow, beautiful leaves. I'm obsessed, just like with the brown edges and everything. They're yellow, but they're kind of orangey as well. You can definitely sketch them out first. I typically don't always. And for these ones, because they're kind of like a basic leaf shape, I don't think I'm going to sketch them out. The maple leaf I might, but this one we're just going to kind of wing it because it doesn't have to be exact and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to start by taking some yellow ochre. Actually, I'm going to use my smaller brush for this. I'm going to paint with my size 6 Emma Lefebvre Craftable brush. And then I'm painting in my Etcher Lab Cold Press Watercolor Sketchbook with my Winsor Newton Professional Paints. Okay, so I'm going to grab some yellow ochre. And I'm going to start by just doing the stem. It's not going to be the same size. I want to make it a bit smaller. And if anything, I'm just using this for inspiration. Okay, and I'm going to just look at the shape of our leaves and try to do something similar. Doesn't have to be perfect. They can even be a bit broken in some places. Okay, so I'm going to start like that, and then I'm just going to fill it in because we're going to drop in some color. Okay, so we got a light wash of our yellow here. Let's add a little bit of our red to it just to make it a little bit on the orangier side, similar to this. I'm going to wet up my burnt umber as well because we're going to add some brown in there. Like that, and I'm just going to start dropping it in like so. I feel like we need a little bit more of like an orangier color. You can go down the middle. We're just dropping in that color. We don't want it one solid color necessarily, even though it's kind of solid here. I just really want to play with the way that watercolor moves. Add a little bit more yellow in there, just drop it in. Grab our burnt umber, and I'm going to go around the edges like on the actual leaf. Like so. You can even drag that up the middle as well if you like. Like that. I feel like it has a little bit of red to that brown too. I'm just going to tap in a little bit of red in there. There we go, there's one. And then we can do the veins in it after. Actually, a really cool way to do veins without painting them, you can take the edge or the back of one of your brushes and you just draw it with the back of your brush. And you can create veins that way, which look really cool too. It like makes an indent in the paper, and then that darker color kind of goes in there. So let's do that for our leaves. Okay, let's do another one coming off of this stem. I'm going to show you this how I'm going to do this like kind of curled one after. This one I'm not going to make as perfectly shaped. You can make it a little bit wavy. It doesn't have to be like a perfect leaf shape, guys. Just have fun with it. Okay, grab our color. And I think one thing I love about painting these leaves so much is just when you drop in that color, it's just more relaxing than anything. You don't have to rush. It's just kind of beautiful to watch the color do its thing. And any kind of watermarks you might get, or these kind of wet on wet marks you get, it always still just looks awesome. Let's grab our brown. Go around the edge. I feel like it needs a bit more yellow. And if I'm being honest with you right now, it's Monday as I'm filming this. I don't know, I didn't have a rough weekend, but just mentally I wasn't feeling the greatest. And so it was really hard to get motivated today. So I just wanted to start off painting something I know I enjoyed. So that's why we are painting leaves today. And sometimes you just need to do that for yourself. So if you need to do that too, paint something that makes you happy, that you know you enjoy doing. All right, let's do our little veins here, like so. I feel like we could add a little bit more brown, like that. Okay, so let's do this one that's kind of like curled. So I'm just going to do the outline. Actually, let's start with like where the middle would be, right? Like the vein kind of going down, and then you're just going to kind of do this like wavy indented shape. Like that. And then let's fill it in. And it's not going to look like it's curled necessarily like in a detailed way where it's like super realistic. I'm honestly just trying to make this simple and fun to do. So I'm not being too specific or exact with the way it looks. Just having fun. I'm going to drop that in. Grab our brown, a bit more brown. I'm just going to add some more brown where it would kind of be curled in. So it's not looking exactly like it necessarily. It doesn't have to be exact. Grab some orange. That. Do our veins. Like that. I feel like I need a little bit darker brown in some of the areas. I'm just going to grab a little bit darker brown to make it look like some of the areas are really starting to turn. Like that. So pretty. Okay. And then I feel like I'm just going to leave it at that with the 3 of those leaves. Like that. Okay. All right, let's move on to some other leaves. I love the way that looks. Okay. Now these leaves that I found look just like super cool. I don't know what tree this is from, but it's cool. I love the red and green. It looks awesome. So for this, I don't think I'm going to sketch it out. We're just going to play. So we're going to start with green. Just like kind of like a light wash of this olive green just to start. And I'm going to start with the stem. Again, you can always sketch it out first if you feel more comfortable. Okay, and I'm going to draw kind of where the veins are, is what I'm trying to say. So there's one here, here, and then it kind of goes bigger out here, and here, and then here, and here. Now I'm just going to wash off my brush, just go really, really light, and I'm going to go around these. So it's like a point here, and point there, and it kind of scoops in. And there's another point here, another point here, scoops in, comes back out to another point. If you want to grab red to do this, you can, because the outside is red. And again, make it jagged. It's not perfect, right? They're like little kind of jagged leaves. It doesn't have to be perfect in the slightest bit. Again, that's what I like about leaves, is they don't have to be perfect. Many of these are broken and, you know, are starting to die. So you can make them kind of weirdly shaped. It doesn't matter all that much. Going around here, it kind of comes in, breaks off there. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to start by filling in a light wash of the green, or even just all over, like the slightest bit of green, okay? Because we are going to add red, and we still want it to make it red, but it is going to be a darker red, so it's okay if it has a little bit of green to the base, because red and green mixed together make brown. A little bit of green added to red makes a darker red or a more muted red, so it's okay that we have a little bit of a base of our green underneath, because it's going to be a darker muted red anyway. Okay, so I'm going to start off by adding, let's do, actually it is kind of like an olivey green, so I'm just going to do an olive green towards the center, and then down these kind of veins. Maybe a little bit more yellow to the green. It's a bit yellowy. That. Then I'm going to grab our red. So I'm going to grab some Winsor red, maybe a little bit of brown with it. I'm just going to go around the edges and let it bleed. So make sure your leaf is still wet before you drop in your color. If you need to go back in and wet up the area first because maybe it's dried too fast, you can definitely do that. And I'm just going to kind of put dots in there like that. That looks kind of cool. I feel like it needs to be a bit darker, so I can even add a bit of my green to my red. Or you could add a little bit of brown if you wanted to. Like so. And I feel like it needs to be a little bit more like yellowish brown in this green. A little bit more yellow. And we're just dropping in that color. It doesn't have to be perfect in the least bit. Like that. Then I'm going to take the back of this again. Do my stem. My veins. And then maybe do some smaller veins. Like so. Okay. Maybe a little bit of yellow on the stem. There we go. Okay. So I don't think I'm going to do 2 of these. Should I? Maybe a smaller one? I don't know yet. Let's move on to some other ones. I think I might do like a cluster of these just because they're super cute. And then we'll do that. And then maybe one that's kind of this shape, even though it's broken. My son just ripped this off the tree, but there were some other beautiful like yellowy kind of ones that were this shape. So actually let's do this. We'll do this here. Okay. So I'm not going to use all of these. I just kind of want like a small cluster of them just to kind of look at. So cute. And again, I love this like red with the green in the middle. So let's start off with red this time. Why? I don't know. And then I'm just gonna create these little leaf shapes like so. And I'm just gonna go in with a light wash of red. Again, because the center's green, but it's like a not lime green, olive green, which is kind of on the brown side. It's okay if there's a base of red. Okay, I'm gonna do these little spikes on the side. I'm gonna grab some yellow and add it to my green here. I'm just gonna draw the veins like that. Then I'm gonna grab our red and go around the edge. I'm gonna grab some more brown, I think. More red. And go in between kind of where those veins were, just dragging it out to the edge. Like that. Like so. It will look a bit more once we add, more like it when we add the vein part. Let's do another one. Let's start with a green for the center. Let's just see. So I'm just gonna go around. It's kind of like a brownish green. I'm gonna add kind of like a spiky edge just by like flicking up my brush. I'm gonna grab more of that greenish color, put it towards the center. Grab our red. Do some lines of where it would come in. Like that, and then we'll just do one more. Actually, maybe we'll have it come behind this one. I tried to leave a little bit of white space so it didn't bleed, but I touched it by accident, but that's okay. Again, they're not realistic necessarily. We're just kind of having fun with it. Go up to where the center, let's do a little bit more green in here. Grab our red. And we can always do a little bit more detail after. Okay, I didn't do the stems yet because the stems are more of that yellowish green color. So I'm just going to grab my smaller brush and I'm just going to drag a stem down, drag a stem down, because they're all going to meet on this piece of bark or wood, whatever. I'm just going to take a little bit of my brown here. Like they're all kind of attached to that piece. Like that. And then, again, we're just taking the end of this, just doing our little veins. Like that. And there's those leaves. So cute. And if you wanted to add, again, like a little bit darker brown, like they're actually like starting to go. I just think it adds a little bit of something. Like they're really starting to turn. Like that. Okay. So So we did those leaves. Now let's do something that's like this. I'm going to make it a bit more yellow, but it's like a green turning into yellow. Okay, so I'm going to start off, again, I'm not sketching it out. I'm going to start off with like a yellow color. And I'm going to start by doing the veins, going all the way at the center. I'm going to wash off my brush, just do a really light wash. And I'm just going to try and match the same kind of curves. So I'm just going to go a little big curve there, a little curve here. And essentially they just kind of go out into these curvy shapes. I'm just going to try and fill it in as I go. Like that. And then again, we can even have some parts like broken off like it is here. Just kind of make it a bit more jagged. Sorry if it's hard to see. But don't worry about it being too perfect. That's my biggest thing with this. Don't. Okay, so I'm going to grab my olive green kind of colors here. And I'm going to go towards the center with it. And then it's going to start kind of getting yellow towards the edges, yellow and brown towards the edges. So I'm just going to fill it in with this green color. Then I'm going to grab my yellow, start dropping it around. I feel like we need a bit more darker green in there. Just gonna grab some more and just drop it in. And if they mix, that totally works too. Gonna have some yellow coming towards the center. And then let's grab our brown, our burnt umber. And I like to put some of our, I like to mix it a little bit with our yellow. I like to put the brown kind of like in the scoops, in the parts that it like scoops in, and the edges. I feel like we need more green in there. This green seems really light. I'm just gonna kind of a bit more darker brown. Like so. And then let's do our veins. So all the way down. And then just down from these little scoopy areas. Like that. And if you wanted to do other like little ones, you definitely can. Like so. Okay, so there is that one. And then lastly, I wanted to do kind of like a little maple leaf looking one, kind of. I don't even know if this is a maple leaf. I feel like maple leaves look a little different, but that's okay. I'm going to try and do a smaller one of this. And then maybe we'll do one more. I don't know. I don't know yet. Okay. So I'm just going to grab my red here. Again, I'm going to start from the top, right down the center of the veins. Here's the stem. Okay. And then we're going to do 2 lines coming like that, and they're curving a little. Okay, so we're going to do a point at the top. Just using the tip of my brush and really light pressure to do this. We're just going to kind of do some jagged little things here. Let's do the points of this one too, of these side ones. Okay, and then they just kind of come down in these points. And then a scoop, scoop. Just making it super jagged. Okay, now let's fill it in with our red, just a light wash to start. Okay, so now that it's all wet, just make sure it's all wet. You're going to go in with some more color. I'm just going to grab some more of my red, darken it up with a purple if you wanted to a bit. And just fill it in. I am going to grab a little bit of dioxazine purple, even though this leaf isn't really that purple. I just want to. I'm just going around the edges mostly. And I might even drop a little bit of green towards the center. Just a little bit. This side looks a little wonky, but that's okay. There we go. There we go. It's a little better. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't have to be perfect too. Okay. And then a little bit of brown. Some of the corners, tips, the little curves. Like that. And there we go. Then I'm just going to make the stem pretty red. Little bulb on the bottom. And then lastly, our veins. Just lightly, like that. And there you go. There are our fall leaves. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit that little notification bell to make sure you're notified every time one of my new videos come out. As well, check the description below because there's a bunch of other platforms you can follow me on for tons more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.